What's up, guys? How's it going? It's me, Evan Hillis, and I'm here today to show you another one of my creations of teaching games. You may have seen this, another one in the last video I posted of Dragon Slayer, which is how to how to play that game in the classroom with a whiteboard, and it involves some drawing techniques. And in that video, I also mentioned that there is a digital version that I made on PowerPoint, which I am now going to be sharing with all of you guys. It's available right now for free download on my blog website with WordPress, which is at spacemonkeyart.com. You can check that out. You can also see some paintings and stuff. But yeah, I'll post a link to that down in the description, and you guys can download this game and other games I've made all within PowerPoint for free. So basically the story behind this is that during the pandemic we were doing online classes through Zoom, and in our regular classes we all do, these games that kind of determine who is the winner in the class at the end of each class. And we always play with two teams, and the winning team will get fake money and they use it to buy gifts and stuff, and it just makes the whole English learning experience that much more fun, and which is all what we were really trying to do at the school I was working at. So I had a lot of free time on my hands, sitting at home all the time, and we were making lots of PowerPoint presentations, and I was playing around with the animations and stuff to make it more interesting for the kids over Zoom, because as you probably know, if you're a teacher who's been teaching over Zoom, it's really hard to keep the kids focused. And this having games or some sort of like competition system involved where there's rewards and stuff really helped to motivate the kids to actually be engaged in the online classes, and just made it more fun for everyone. So I shared these games with other teachers in my school, and some of them still use them. And you actually don't need to only use them over Zoom. You can use them if you have a whiteboard or a smartboard or a projector in your classroom. You can actually just hook it up to your computer and play this on the projector, and you guys can use it that way too. So I'll kind of go over how to play it on Zoom, and how kind of just briefly describe how you could play it in real life if you were doing this with an in-person class as well. But yeah, the benefit about this is that you don't have to do any drawing. So the other video, it required you to be able to draw this dragon on the board, and there's a lot of hand points and counting involved. But with this one, it's all drawn for you because I did it, and it took me lots and lots of time, as you'll probably see. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so this is the first game I'm going to show you of the ones I made for PowerPoint. This game is called Dragon Slayer. You might recognize that from one of the other videos I made, where I showed you guys how to play it in classroom, and all you needed for that one was a sticky ball and a whiteboard and a marker. But that one did require a lot of drawing, so this one is better for people who maybe aren't very good at drawing, or if they just would rather use something with more animation and color and stuff like that. And it's definitely great for playing it either in class, in person, or on Zoom, which is what I made it for. So I'm going to kind of be giving more of the instructions on how to play it online or over Zoom, but I'll kind of briefly describe how to play it in a real class. So first of all, you'd open up this PowerPoint, and there at the bottom right corner you can see it has a slideshow button, or you can go up to the top and you're going to hit play from beginning. So that's very important that when you do this, you stay in the slideshow mode, just like this, throughout the game. Because if you exit it, it's got points and stuff involved, and if you exit out of it, then it's going to reset those points. So you want to keep this one open. And now the way to switch between it is on your keyboard. Click the Alt and Tab key at the same time, and if you hold down Alt, you'll see all the open tabs that you can switch over to. So you can click on whatever your lesson might be, and then that way you can have your lesson open. And if I click Alt Tab again, and I click on the Dragon Slayer one, it'll go to that. And then from then on, I can just click Alt Tab once and let go, or put them at the same time, and it'll cycle between the last one that I was using. So that's a nice quick way to switch between. So what I would do in class is be teaching the class, and then as I'll switch back to the game, and then we'll play a few rounds of the game. So let's go through this page, which is just kind of a brief description of the game, and I'll read through it and kind of explain it. So the first part says, use class points to upgrade your weapon or buy more life hearts. Click on the icons to do so. So this is the heart icon, and this is the two weapons, the sword and the bow and arrow icons. And these are the two hero characters that you can choose down here. And this is some original artwork I did several years ago that I thought was fitting, so put it on here in it also. So for the points, what I usually do is in my class, will have like 2 teams, or if you have just 2 students, you can just do one-on-one. But yeah, divide your class into 2 teams. I usually use a notepad, and I'll write the 2 names of the teams, put a line through the middle, and then I'll write the names of each student below that. And as I'm going through, I'll write tallies next to their names, and that will give me, keep track of the team's points. And it also shows me who's been participating more. So like maybe Susie's been answering all the questions, she's got 10 points, and Tommy on our team has only answered like 2 questions, he's only got 2. So I'm probably going to like use that to recognize I need to call on him more to get him more involved. And it's just a good way to keep track of classroom participation and make sure everybody is getting equal attention so that one kid doesn't just dominate. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of advice for teaching that I think works out pretty well. But you do your own thing, and you can keep track of the points like that, and then the points are basically used as money to buy like either health or more powerful attacks. So yeah, and then down here it says you either roll the dice or throw a sticky ball and at the dragon. So the dice would be like either for doing the Zoom class, or maybe if you're in class you can buy these big foam dice that are fun for little kids to roll on the floor. You can play a lot of games with that too. And then the other option would be for a dice on your phone, which I have this app. You probably can't see it very well, but there's a little dice there app, and then it opens up this app, and you can like set this to multiple dice if you want for certain games, but you tap it and it'll roll, and then you can just use that as a dice. So yeah, for that what I would do is in a Zoom call, I would call the kid whose turn it is, I'd show the dice to the camera, and then I'd tap it and I'd say, okay, John, say stop. And then he says stop, and I stop. Okay, now you got a 5. And I would determine what to do from there. Then you follow the chart. So the chart tells you like what to do for each number, and then it'll tell you if you need to either have the dragon attack the student or the student attacks the dragon. And then, so yeah, click the dragon icon to remove health from the dragon, click the dragon attack button, and click hearts to remove hearts from the player if the dragon attacks. And the first player to get the dragon's health to 0 wins. So let's just go into it and I'll show you how it works.
Dragon Slayer.
Alright, so you click it once, it plays the title. I recorded that, and if you're a Halo fan, you probably might recognize where that's from. Alright, then click it again, it takes you to the next slide. This is basically like a little intro, so it's a princess and she's being captured by a dragon, and the dragon comes and kidnaps her. Alright, so you click that once to start that animation, and then click again to go to the next slide. And then you get the choose your character side. So there's some music playing. You can take this off if you want, but yeah. So you have the knight and the elf archer. If you click on them, if you click on the knight, it'll play his...
Knight!
And then yeah, click on the elf archer.
Elf archer!
So that's just to say the words. I did that for my kids because they're Chinese students, so just to help them speak English. And then click on the name to choose one. So let's go to the knight first. Now for the character choosing thing, I might let like the kids play rock, paper, scissors to choose, or something like that, but however you want to determine who chooses first. So yeah. So yeah, let's look at this page. This is the page you're going to be on for most of the game. So you have the knight's page, and then down here at the bottom you can switch characters to the archer page. So one team will be using this page, the other team will be using this page. Alright? You don't want to click to the next slide like you normally would by either hitting space or the down arrow key on the keyboard, or clicking somewhere on the background. If you do that, it's going to have a thing set in place to stop you from going to the next slide, because if you go through it normally, it will not save the points and all that stuff when you go back between slides. So always use this button or any of the other buttons to proceed the game. Alright, so first things first, we have the health of the character. You can see the knight has 3 hearts to start and 2 extra ones, which you can buy to upgrade if the kids want to. And then also there's the sword thing up here, which is to upgrade it to give you more attack points. And it costs 5 points to refill hearts, 10 points to upgrade the sword. So if you click the empty heart, it'll fill up with a heart, and if you click one that's already there, it'll disappear. Yeah. And you can do these out of order, so as a teacher you should probably just keep it in sequence, but whatever. You have control of all that. And then this button here at the top this is a button to upgrade their swords. So if they get 10 points, they can click that and it'll add more damage. So let's go down here to the chart first before I click that. You can see if the student rolls a 1, they miss, so nothing happens. You don't click anything. If the student rolls a 2, then the dragon attacks. So up here in the corner, you see this button. Click that little explosion, and it'll show the dragon attack animation. Alright, and then you would go over here and then remove 1 heart. So that's what happens if they roll a 2. If they roll a 3, a 4, 5, or 6, then they do damage. So a 3 for the knight does 1 damage. So if I rolled a 3, I'll click this little star thing, and that plays the attack animation. And then for 1 damage, I would just click this button here at the bottom 1 time. And then you see 1 little tick goes off. Alright, and then basically once the dragon gets all the way down to 0, it'll change and you push the button, and you showed like the victory screen or whatever. Now up here at the top again, we have the upgrade points. So if you want to upgrade your weapon, they spend 10 of their team's points. And then you can see now at the bottom here, the 3 does 2, 4 and 5 do 3 damage, and the times 6 does 4 damage. And you can upgrade it twice. So 20 points, if the kids can get 20 points within a class, they can upgrade it twice. I think that's probably a good range to shoot for, but if your classes, if you notice it's like they're not getting enough points, or you don't really give out as much points, you can change that number to be something lower or higher depending on how many points you give out in a given class period, so that it's even, or it's fair. So yeah, and then on this side we have the throwing the sticky ball options. So this would be like if you're playing in class and you have like a target or something that can throw the sticky ball at it. So when I played it in my class, they had a smart board, which is like a hard surface, and the sticky ball can stick to it. So I'd have the kids throw it. If it missed and it didn't hit anywhere, like on the board, or if it just hit like on the background or somewhere not on the dragon, then it would do nothing. If they accidentally threw it and hit one of their own characters, like the hero or the princess character, then the dragon would attack them. So I don't really want them to die, obviously. I would rather just have them killed, but this just kind of makes it a little more interesting. Yeah, so I'll keep going through. If they hit the wings with the sticky ball or whatever, then it would do 1 damage, or this, whatever the base one is. If it hits the body or the neck, it does the next level up, and then if it hits the face, that would be the level 3 one. Alright? Hope that makes sense. So let's check out, what happens if you die. So these little buttons are just for animations, so this just kind of makes it fun for the kids to watch. That's that one. So yeah, and if the guy dies, click that again, then you get this little skull, and click that. I'll take you to the death page. But again, you don't want that to happen usually, and you can take that slide out if you don't think it's appropriate for your class. It's up to you. This file is totally editable, up to your discretion, so I'm just giving it to you for free. So anyways, yeah. Now let's go over to the elf archer page, and you can see that she has 3 hearts to start as well, but only has 1 more possible to buy, so slightly less health, but she does more damage. So she starts off with a ×2 if you roll a 3, 4, or 5, and ×3 if you roll a 6. So she usually has a bit of an early game advantage because all of her damage at least do 2 damage. All of her attacks do at least 2 damage. But then as the game goes on, the knight gets a slight advantage because if you see here, her upgrade costs slightly more, which would be 12 instead of 10. So usually the knight, if they're even, will get to upgrade first, and he'll get a few of those higher damage attacks before she will, and that usually kind of evens it out. So yeah, for her, you click the bow and arrow to upgrade it. Now you see it's 3, 3, 4. Click it again. Now it's 4, 4, 5. All right. So that's how her upgrades work. And then again, same thing for the hearts. Let's see her attack animation. Shoots an arrow. And then for the dragon, let's see, shoots when she turns invisible, but you would still take off a heart for that anyway. All right. So now, as you play, so let's say somebody rolled a 6 now, so that would be ×5. So I would just click this 1 time, and then I would just click this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'm not playing the animation 5 times. It's just for show. This is what actually you need to click. All right, so that tells you the number of clicks basically to remove. All right, and then you'd switch back to the other team, and then you let them play. So basically, you can play this in 2 ways for your classroom lesson plan. Say you could either play it at the end, save like 5 to 10 minutes to play this at the end, and everybody just goes, and you say, okay, one kid from this team goes, then you switch, and then another kid goes, and then he rolls. Stay stop. Okay, you got a 6. Oh wow, you shoot the thing, do the thing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, switch. Now this kid goes. Say stop. Oh, okay, wow, you got a 6 too. All right, let's play the animation. You only do 3 damage because you've only got level 1 sword, so hit 3 times, and then keep doing that until somebody wins. Or you can do that, the same thing, but break it up. So you maybe just do 2 kids from each team at a time, and maybe do 10 minutes of class. So hit Alt-Tab. You're doing your lesson. Well, this is an alien, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is an eagle. Whatever, you finish this slide, then you switch it back, and you're like, okay, now these 2 kids go. And then you do the animation and everything, and then you go back. And that way I kind of like, because the kids can like see the progression of the game throughout the class, and it keeps them interested. And when they switch back to the learning section, they're like, okay, now I've got to like try to get points so that when we go back to the game, I can buy the upgrade or whatever, or the something, and then they can hopefully, so that kind of helps to keep the kids focused. And you can also use it as like a disciplinary tool. If a kid's not paying attention or being rude or naughty or something, you can say like, okay, hey, you can't play the game, you're going to sit out your next turn if you keep acting like that. And sometimes that'll work, so that's a good classroom control method as well. But yeah, so eventually you get the guy to the end. When he's on the last health, you'll see he's like wobbling, like finish him. Boom, you click that, and that plays the kind of final death animation of the dragon. So during this, don't click anything. Let's let it play, because it'll all play by itself. But if you click, it'll like skip to the next thing, and it might mess it up. All right, so once it goes to this new page, you see the music playing, then you click once, and then that shows the last victory sign. Archer wins. And you click again. You can exit out at this point, or you can, if the kids are into it, you can show the death of the other character. But yeah, sometimes that'll make kids sad, but obviously you choose that at your own discretion. But kids do get competitive, and sometimes like they get sad if they lose. But I always feel like, okay, at least if they're like into the game and they're sad if they lose, that just means that they care, and that the motivational tool of the game is working, which is the whole point of having it, So, and then the next class they might, be, trying to answer all the questions so that they can win the next time, and that's what I'll just use that as a learning opportunity. So yeah, let's watch this guy's victory animation, and then we'll finish up. So again, I click it. Once it goes to the next page, don't click anything. Just let it play out. Throws the sword in his mouth and blows him up. Boom. So yeah, once the music plays and it switches the background there, then you can click one more time, and it'll play this little thing. And princess is saved! Hooray! The knight wins, and it'll go to the next other character's death page. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And basically how this all kind of works out as a motivational tool, as opposed to just being an incentive to win, is also that we would give the kids like some kind of prize. Like either for the kindergarten kids, we'd give them stickers, and they would count their stickers at the end of the month, and whoever has the most will get a prize. For older kids, we had like fake money that they could use at a monthly market and buy toys and whatnot. So you could have some kind of reward for the winners, and usually give like a smaller prize for the losers. So even if the team doesn't win, they still get like half. They get 1 sticker instead of 2, or the winning team gets $100, the losing team gets 50, or something like that. So yeah, that is the game. And again, there's like different slides here, so if you don't want the death sequence, you can just delete that slide. But yeah, if you know how to edit PowerPoints, then this is totally up to you to do that. If you wanted to change like the value of the points, you can just literally go in there and type it something different. That's pretty easy. But if you wanted to change the animations, you could go to animation and then click animation pane, and on the right hand side here you'll see all the animations I have for the slide. So as you might imagine, it took quite a while to make this one, but it was pretty fun for me. So hope you guys enjoy it. You can see basically how I did it is that I just did I just copied the character and then like changed the position, or sometimes just drew a whole new picture, and then I stacked them all on top of each other, and I used the animation charts in PowerPoint to like have it fade from one picture to the next to make it look like it was a kind of a simple animation. And they also have some movement tools like shaking and moving and stuff like that, which I used as well. But yeah, it's very interesting working within the limitations of PowerPoint's animations and stuff. There's definitely times I wish I was working with like an actual programming system, but I don't really know how to code, but I kind of understand some basics. So this is a very rudimentary video game, I suppose. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And one more thing I wanted to say is that this file is quite large. This is the biggest one I've made, so this one was sometimes giving me trouble as far as with the computer. Sometimes my old computer would crash when I would be in the PowerPoint and click a certain button, and then it would just, the whole thing would just close out. So if that does happen to you, what I can do is I'll also be uploading other versions of this, one that's just with the night slides. Like for example, this one is his regular page with all the attacks and stuff. This one is where it goes to if you are killing the dragon during that scene, and then this is like the final victory page, and then this is the death page. So I would just delete these four and save one file with only the archer pages, and then have another file that's only with the knight pages. So that way the whole file size is smaller, and it shouldn't freeze up on you as badly. So hopefully that works. So yeah, again, if you have a smaller, older computer, you can use the you can just swap between the two just with the Alt-Tab thing like I showed you before. But if you have one, it'll have the switch character button at the bottom, and you can just click that and stay within the same PowerPoint. So if you have a faster computer, I mean. All right, well that's it. Let's get out of here. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe out there, and know that I love you. All right, bye.